The first thing we're going to do in the configuration and deployment management testing section is we're going to test the network infrastructure configuration. Configuration management of the web server is crucial to maintain the security of all these applications. Any vulnerabilities or misconfigurations in any element of the infrastructure can compromise the entire system. We're going to go over how to review and validate the configuration of your network infrastructure just to make sure it's not vulnerable to any known security issues. The first step in this process is to identify the different elements in the infrastructure. We may have already done this back in map network and application architecture, but this is where we want to focus on testing for known server vulnerabilities and testing the administrative tools. To start off, we want to test and review our known server vulnerabilities. This is where that low-hanging fruit comes into play for attackers or anyone else wanting to test the network for any low-hanging fruit. We can start by checking the version of the web server, and we can do this by using the curl command. And here what we're going to do is retrieve HTTP headers just to look through the server field or any other headers that could reveal information about the application. I'm going to go ahead and run the curl command on my test site. As you can see, we got their server response with all of the headers. And in the server field, we have cowboy. Once you have the server field or the host field, you can pretty much identify the system or see how hardened the application is. As you can see, the server field did not reveal the version or any other sensitive information. But during this check, once you have the version, this is where you want to research known vulnerabilities associated with that version. Look for vendor advisories, security databases, or any other reliable sources just to understand if there are any vulnerabilities that could affect the application. Just by keeping up with this, we would know how modern and how hardened the application is. While considering some of these unpatched vulnerabilities, just keep in mind that not all vulnerabilities are publicly disclosed or registered in vulnerability databases. Some vulnerabilities may be only known to the software vendor or communicated to the customers through patches without any public advisories. Therefore, having information about the software used in the architecture allows for a more accurate assessment of potential vulnerabilities in this area. Usually testers can analyze the risks associated with using unsupported or outdated software versions that may have undisclosed vulnerabilities. Next, we want to take a look at administrative tools. When it comes to administrative tools, they're essential for maintaining and updating various aspects of the application. These tools include those used for managing static content, application source code, user authentication, databases, and more. We want to review the security of these tools to prevent unauthorized access and potential compromises. This usually involves determining the access control mechanisms, changing the default credentials, and ensuring that unauthorized access to these interfaces can be prevented. To discover potential administrative interfaces or management consoles, you can use tools like Dirtbuster to perform directory brute forcing and help identify administrative paths. We also want to keep in mind to assess external admin interfaces. Some interfaces may be public facing and managed by third parties. This is where we want to test to make sure they're not vulnerable to attacks as well. Usually we can test against mitigating these attacks by conducting regular configuration management assessments and vulnerability management assessments just to maintain the security of the application infrastructure. Safeguarding the network infrastructure is an ongoing process. Usually requires regular monitoring, patching, and updates just to mitigate potential risks and ensure a secure environment for the application as a whole.